closing the door. All right, so welcome to our 2024 annual meeting here at Unity of South Sound. Thank you for being here. Woo! We are an awesome community, and we're awesome because of you guys, right? So your participation is super important, so we appreciate that. Whether it's in person or those of you online, hello, hello, we love you too. So the Facebook online should be going. Please enter, if you're online, please enter any comments into the comment section. We will be watching for those, although we may not respond unless it's like a sound issue or something like that. We may not respond till the Q&A section, so just know, be patient on that. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. We've had the membership check-in. If you did not go through the check-in process and sign in on the sheet, please go over and do that with Candace. For Facebook attendees or YouTube Live, Candace will be checking in members. It's better if you're on Facebook because then we can see who you are. But she will also send an email after the meeting because when you checked in here, you should have checked your address and your phone number to make sure we have your most current information. So for those of you online, Candace will be sending an email after this event to double check those pieces of information. The other thing is a yes or a no to a chaplain, which is a wonderful service. I don't know if you guys do it or not, but even if you're busy, I know Scott is my chaplain. Thank you, Scott. He leaves me voicemails, and actually kind of love it when I'm busy and I don't get to answer the phone because I can listen to those voicemails over and over and over again, and they're beautiful and so timely and so wonderful. So thank you to the chaplains for everything you do. All right, I'm going to introduce our current board. I'm going to take this out so that I can kind of step to the side. We have a wonderful board that has served us this year as well as some of us for multiple years, right? And I'm so grateful for them. It's so wonderful to work in a wonderful team of beautiful souls that are working for the benefit of this community. So first on your left and now my left, we have Steve, who's our treasurer. Thank you, Steve. Ryan, I guess I should say last names too. Nancy Jackson, secretary extraordinaire. This will be her final meeting. She is exiting the board now, but we're excited for what's to come. But thank you, Nancy, for all your service for these years, yes. And then we have Chris Lazarga. I got to remember to say last names. Anyway, Chris is a member at large right now, and she is continuing on because this is the end of your first year, right? Yes. So anyway, she's been serving us very well also. The at-large members are very important also because they contribute to the conversation. They vote, obviously, and also very important. Stacy Lawrence is also my vice president extraordinaire. She's also continuing on, and so we appreciate her service as well. And of course, Reverend Megan, the minister, is always part of the board as well. So that's our board. And myself, Michelle, formerly Millsap, still says Millsap on my label, but I'm Zwasta now as of July of 21. I got married. And I'm your president, but I'm also exiting. This is the end of my 4th year. You guys will remember David and I came in and started first meeting in March of 2020, and then whammo-bammo. COVID hit, and we were on quite the adventure. So I've missed him being on the board, but still been on an adventure. And this is my year to exit, and the next set of board members are going to be just the right and perfect fit for where this community is right now and where we're going. So I'm excited for all of us. Thank you. And now we would like to ask Reverend Megan to lead us in an opening prayer.
So we just take a moment to bring our awareness to that center within our heart space, the place where we know and experience that presence of God, the Creator, our source, that breathes and animates this moment in time. And breathing in a sense of gratitude for Unity of South Sound, for the spiritual community, for the presence that this ministry represents and how it makes a difference in our lives. And as we collectively feel each other in this one presence, in this moment together in this room, and as we also feel extended those that are with us online, we know that there is only one presence and one power active in my life, in the universe, in this ministry. God, goodness, omnipotence. And I am one with that presence and power. Breathe that in and know it at the core of your being. And as we allow ourselves to be that divinity, we become all that we are here to be in the expression of divinity in everything we think, say, and do. And so know that your presence represents a blessing for all of us. And as we live from that light that we are, we become a blessing to the world. And for that, we have much to celebrate. And so let the celebration continue in this meeting. And so it is. Amen.
In order to conduct business this morning, this afternoon, we need to establish a quorum. So if you are a voting member, please raise your hand. We need to have 20. Okay, we have 33. We have a quorum.
Okay, in your little membership pamphlet here on the first page, you have the minutes from last year. You are all free to review them, and what I'm asking for now is approval of February 12th, 2023 minutes. Can I have a show of hands of approval? Yay. Thank you.
Time, I have the great and extraordinary opportunity to introduce to you the staff of Unity of South Sound. And so this has been an interesting year of transition and some new faces. So officially now, our office administrator is Amy Silveria, back there managing the soundboard. But I also want to acknowledge Candace Roback, who has served as our interim up till now. And she will continue as being part of our volunteer administrative team to add support and substance to what we can do as the business of ministry. So we're grateful for that. We have also contracted a new bookkeeper who is not physically present here. Her name is Beth Koenig. She lives in near Gig Harbor, I think, and she's on the office on Thursdays. And Steve has helped orient her, and that is transitioning really well. And of course, our extraordinary Youth and Family Ministry Director, Jennifer Richardson. She brings her joyful heart into connecting with our kids, and we see that program growing. Cerny Solidarios, our music director extraordinaire. He is such a joy, and he brings a wealth of talent to make a difference in our services every week. Amy Silveria will also continue as our sound technician, managing that technology and the audio and sound to make sure our services are well experienced. So we acknowledge you in your multiple roles, Amy. Yay. And another new member that is not physically here, Mary Lindsay, is a media marketing consultant that works only with New Thought Ministries, and she works out of Tennessee. So we hired her as our social media coordinator last April, recommended from other ministries that work with her, and she has since stepped in to become our webmaster, transforming our web site, and also now officially this year we're calling her our marketing and communications manager, and she's managing all of our graphic design, the e-blast, all of those forms of communication, and she's been a great wealth of support of looking at new technologies and things that are available to our ministry. So we just want to say a shout out to Mary Lindsay. You know that she is taking good care of you in the Ethernet. And that is our official staff. Of course, we have many other volunteers, and we'll be acknowledging them throughout this meeting. So I am blessed with who we have. Thank you, one and all.
All right, this is the time when we get to hear some of the different communities within our community. So Jennifer Richardson, if you would come up and share with us about the youth ed program. And next up in the queue is Diane Neiman, just so you're ready.
All right. So I am the Youth Ed Director, Youth and Family Services Director. And this past year in 2023, we pretty much stuck to the routine of things we do. You might think our kids cook an awful lot, and they do. And they really do enjoy serving you guys food. So we hope to keep that rotation going. Also, we participated in 2023 and looking ahead to 2024 in a lot of regional camps. We had kids go to kids camp in the summer. We had Uniteens go in the summer and in the fall. And we had YOU attended 3 events. And then this year, our YOU decided that they needed a 4th event. So they needed one for every season. So they planned by themselves. It got a little hairy there because they didn't realize they needed adults to be in on it. But anyways, they planned by themselves a lock-in, and that's where I was last weekend with the YOU. Drove down to Portland and had a lock-in in the church. So wonderful. Our kids have really, blossomed into that leadership role. That spiritual leadership, I'm just so excited for them. But just like every year, we did our pancake breakfast last year. We participated in Faith in Action. We did fundraisers, which helped them go to camp. And we're so grateful for our community who helps contribute to those fundraisers and helps get our kids to camp. So, and that's my report.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for everything you do, not just the report. And next up, Diane with our Sacred Service group. Thank you for all you do, too.
My joy. Mostly my joy. Hey, kids, hi. All right. So I'm going to just acknowledge the teams that are under my under my care. And they are the hospitality team, for one. I'm a member of the hospitality team, and I share the lead now with Julie and Sandy. And I would just like to tell you who they are, because I think that's important. So when I say your name, if you're here, just stand so people can see who you are. Julie Webb, Casey, not here, Sandy, Bert, come on, Chris Beal was here earlier, Deb Morton, Doug, Rita, Laura, myself. Okay, a round of applause for these workers. And there's some unacknowledged heroes out there that bring fabulous food every week. They just wander in with real cool things they've made somewhere in their life. We try to supply nutritious and healthy items for you, so It's a joy. Ushers and greeters under the leadership of Annie. Annie's here. And let's acknowledge that team. We have Julie Webb in Georgia, who's in another state right now. Kelly, Cindy, Annie and Steve Ryan. Okay, where are those folks? Stand up, kiddos. Chris Beal, Chris Beam. Oh, let's say Diane and Doug stand up again. And Bert and Sandy. You'll notice there's a repetition of folks who are serving on these teams, which means we could use all of you to step into those spaces. You out there in Cyberland, come on in and help us out. Flower team, LaDonna. Say it again. The Chris's, I did do the Chris's. I did only Chris Beal, though, but I missed the other Chris. What's Chris's last name? Oh, yeah, Beal and Bean. How could I forget? You will recognize Chris Bean. He had the cool shirt on today, but he took off. All right, so, and they're new members, so that's wonderful. Flower team, LaDonna. Hey, LaDonna, wave at the crowd. She is our flower child, and Julie helps her at times, as does Cindy Iger. So they help make the place beautiful, really, with flowers. Congregational care team is, the leader is Linda Ash. Are you here, Linda? Yeah, Linda. Linda, and I'm not telling you their jobs because they're in your program, and I know you'll read them, but Linda is really doing a wonderful service, taking care of those in our congregation who need some care. And she's diligent, I'll tell you. And I think, there's teams yet to be kind of hanging out there in the ether. There's a sign team, which is kind of cool. You know, you put a sign out on the road. It's a nice thing, and there's locations to do it, and they're helpful. How many of you have seen a sign for something, you know, on the board somewhere, billboard, and you paid attention? Show of hands. I know, see? Signs. It's cosmic. So if you're interested in hefting a big, heavy sign and putting it out in the road, it's easy and fun and good exercise. I think it has your name on it, David. Okay, enough of that. And then I want to mention just the Harmony Helpers. It's in the mix. We did some really nice training in the summer, and that's a group of folks who help keep us safe, and it's a good program. And lastly, affinity groups. Men's group, Gary, right there, Gary Trantham. They meet every Saturday, every third Saturday, and they're on Zoom. Follow it in the e-blast. It's good. And he plans topics for you to talk about. And lastly, the Women's Circle of Friends, who do all kinds of wonderful things with their hands and hearts. I think that's my report. Over and out.
Thank you so much, Diane, and sorry I didn't cue you, Julie, but you're up. And very special group. She's speaking on behalf of the chaplain group, even though, as you can tell from Diane's report, she does much more than that. So thank you for all you do.
So all the nitty-gritty details are in the report, but so I won't give you that. But to let you know that currently there are 3 chaplains, Scott Davidson, Ginger Landry, and myself, and we rotate as coordinators to try to keep on track with our monthly meetings and our monthly calls. Monthly calls are extremely important. I'd say those are the purpose of the group, and to keep in touch with you all. And for the new members who just were dedicated today, you may request to be assigned a chaplain, and we'd love to have you join that program. We probably made over 850 calls last year, and we tried to keep continuity, even when some of our chaplains graduated due to self-care and life in general, and we honor that. And just as your administrative staff has had changes and your board will have changes and all these things going on, we try to keep some sense of flexible continuity, consistency through the year. We've helped with the prayer class. We've helped with Maundy Thursday service. We have an annual retreat at the Priory Spirituality Center in Lacey, where we upgrade and update our training so that we can be renewed and refreshed. And World Day of Prayer is something on our calendar too, every September. Anywhere we can help. We've also added a third Sunday for chaplain on duty here at the Spire, so we are available to pray with you in person first and third Sundays. And there's also a prayer chest in the foyer. You're welcome and invited to fill out a prayer request. We take that, hold it in prayer for the month, and then send it on to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days. So we'd love to answer any questions if any of you are interested in becoming a chaplain. We'd help you through that process. Thank you.
Before you go, I hear the chaplains are going to do a demonstration for us
Thank
at the end
you.
of the service.
That
At
was-
the end of the meeting.
Yes, we will be closing the meeting today with an example of how we serve this ministry through prayer request, answering prayer requests and setting prayer intentions. So that will be our demonstration at the end of the meeting.
I mean, yes, Diane. Oh. Okay, so just for those of you online who would not have heard that, when we do have Q&A, we'll have the mic out. Diane said she wanted to make sure that the music team is also acknowledged, and Reverend Megan will be doing that in a later part of the meeting. So thank you so much, and more to come on that one. All right, so next up, maybe this is when it's coming, is the minister's report.
Oh, I think I'm going to need. Oh my goodness. Do you have me on this, or should I just use this mic, Amy? Just talk. Okay. Okay, I'll talk. Oh my goodness. This has been my first full year of service to Unity of South Sound. Last year, I had only been in service about 8 months. And so now I have like a whole year of experience of all the things we do and all the holidays and the annual events, and kind of feel like I'm starting to feel like I really have integrated into the community, and it's feeling pretty good. So I realized that this last year has been a lot about discovery, change, and growth. And yet, perhaps that's what every year is going to be about. So it will just be a different kind of discovery, change, and growth. But I believe that we really have stepped vibrationally into manifesting incrementally our vision of being a vibrant, growing, prosperous, and active multi-generational ministry with a viable presence in both our virtual and greater community around us. We've made active steps in that direction. I don't think that we will ever really see quantum giant leaps. And so sometimes it doesn't really feel like much has changed, and yet underneath the surface, vibrationally, there is a lot of transformation going on. And that's a good thing. So your leadership team and myself have really taken extra steps and extra time and energy to delve into considering who we are. Power Focus Ministry, that Unity Worldwide Ministries, through the direction of Reverend Shad Groverland, who is the president and CEO of our guiding organization, we've established a baseline of our who and our why. And it's not meant to be like a marketing phrase or anything, but it serves as our foundational place to envision and create our future from, and a more specific expression of our mission and vision statements, because that also is a guiding statement. It's like when we ask a question, does it serve, does it fit within our mission and vision? If it doesn't, then we either need to revisit our mission and vision, or it's not ours to do at this time. So in general, we realize that Unity of South Sound as a ministry is essential in our area because it provides open-minded spiritual adults with a unique space to experience personal, practical, spiritual connections rooted in a positive, compassionate, prosperous, trusting, and welcoming community that they may be seeking. Does that feel like that kind of defines who we are? And that we are a primary source for those seekers to access the life-transformative teachings of Unity and the New Thought movement, the philosophy that we offer, in an environment that aligns perfectly with their spiritual needs, fostering growth, connection, and fulfillment. And that we can build from that, because that will be an evolving experience. And this realization emphasizes then the unique value that our ministry brings to the community and why it is indispensable for those seeking such spiritual experiences. We know we serve a purpose in the community around us. And our goal now is to become more visible, to find greater ways of connecting, to find ways of making it the awareness that we're here for those that might be seeking for exactly what we have to offer. So as we move into our next year together, your board of trustees, our leadership team, I like to call them, and myself will focus on reevaluating all aspects of our ministry and how it can benefit, or how we can benefit from looking through a new lens based on who and why we are, and courageously looking at, for instance, how and why we do things. Have we asked those questions? Because sometimes we just keep doing things, and just because that's the way we're doing it, but it's like, does that still fit who we are, why we exist, or how we can be prepared for the evolving face of ministry? What serves our needs and what realizes a benefit? We want to be aware of that, because those are the things we want to expand on and make sure we're maintaining well, right? What is outdated and ready to be transformed? Because there's always things that served a purpose at one time, but maybe it's not the best way of doing things now. And what is missing that needs new energy to establish new ways of doing things, as in creating a more abundant and thriving future? We need to identify those things. We know there are some gaps. So let's take a look at it. How can we bridge it to a way that it will make a greater difference? So with that, we call upon ourselves then, because all of us are part of this co-creative experience. For no organization, especially a spiritual community, can effectively evolve, grow, and thrive without the direct participation of its members. So your role will make a difference in what we can create, what we can provide, and what we can become. Last year I mentioned that there was an opportunity for us, before us, in reimagining an empowered ministry to thrive over the next years of existence. That opportunity continues as we step deeper into the process of reimagining our existence with clarity and purpose. And we have begun that transformative process of establishing incremental success. But I wanted to bring your attention to some of our accomplishments. They are listed under my report in the handout that you received. And as I sat to look at all those things, I realized we really had done a lot. You know, in the midst of things, sometimes it feels like there's things that we missed out on, and yet we accomplished what we need to do in the time that we have before us. Something I wanted to let you know, well, so let me bring my attention to that. So I got to find my report. You can see that we participated in Forward because it takes a great volunteer base and a lot of organization. Forward because it takes a great volunteer base and a lot of organization. And Heidi, bless her heart, was that core. So at this point, it is waiting for us to step back into when we're ready. We did Porch Fest. This was the second year, which is a really exciting event in our community that community organizers decided that we have so many of those craftsman homes and homes around here that have porches. And so the concept is for different people to sign up and have music at their porch. And then they created a parade that goes around the perimeter of our community so that you can hear the different musicians and then bring it, and then they end right here at the Spire in our parking lot. So the main stage for all the musicians is in our parking lot. They have food trucks. We had a booth. It's a great way of letting our neighbors know we exist and get to know ourselves. So we hope to expand on that as well. Our women's group, the Women's Circle, created over 20 baby quilts that were made to support the group for Pregnancy Aid of Kent. And in December, you see them so that they can be blessed and absorb our energy before they're passed out to be wrapped around little babies. We had multiple spiritual education classes to enhance our growth and development. And we hope to expand on that, but it's like as we're ready, as I see that people are ready to step into, and sometimes it's just, it's checking out what is the interest. And throughout the year, different people have stepped up to offer a workshop, and we're really excited to continue that. But offering the affirmative prayer class is an annual class. We're just going wrapping that up this week. It is a core class required if you want to serve as a prayer chaplain, but it's also an important class for all our members to take to really understand the difference between traditional and affirmative prayer. Last year we did the Gifts of Winter discussion group. We had our foundational membership classes, which will continue. We did a prosperity class. We had a really fun summer series, the spiritual lesson in Star Wars. So looking for something fun and exciting to do this summer. We did our de-escalation training. Circle of Friends offered the 5 Tibetan rites. We had subtle activism workshop, and the prayer chaplain retreat was brought back in person last year, which had been on hold during the pandemic. And we're really excited to be able to continue that important connection within a significant team. We had multiple guest speakers. I will continue to search to bring exciting variety of speakers when I need to take a break, but I'm really grateful. I also have my husband, Reverend Michael Brooks, as a backup, and he's always willing to serve. We had amazing guest musicians, too many to list. Thank you to Cerny for being that pulse that's connected with the wonderful talent and the diversity that you recognize that we can explore. It's something unique that we have compared to a lot of other ministries, and I think we can celebrate that. Our youth and family ministry, as Jennifer said, they are our future. And it is really exciting to see the leadership being developed within our ministry team. And so we will continue to do an annual Youth Sunday, the 3rd Sunday in May. Our youth stepped up and did just about every element of the service, and it was so fun to see that and the skill that they have demonstrating, and we will continue to do that. Our leadership team has been doing a lot of things behind the scenes and trying to bring a different level of organization and communicative tools. And we took one step going through last year. We're getting ready to take another step in a new direction, which I'll share in a minute. Hiring our new social media consultant last year was a huge thing. We went about a year without having one, and Mary she came as a referral, and she has just the skill base that we need because she only does work with ministries and only New Thought ministries. And she has a great understanding and the pulse of what can be successful in helping us shift our face to the public. She helped us transform our website this year, which was really exciting. We're able to move to a different vendor and save us a considerable amount of annual fees, and that again was huge. Anywhere we can save money and enhance what we're doing is what we're looking for. We had our annual picnic where RTD2 and C3PO showed up. Thank you to Jennifer. That was kind of fun. We will always do our picnic. Our Faith in Action program, we had 5 study groups with essential spirituality. That's something to celebrate. And we will continue to offer that level of growth. We had a successful, what we called our Soulful Soiree. It was a prosperity funding event that included a silent auction, and even with a short time frame and limited resources to kind of pull it together, we still were able to raise almost $10,000 to benefit our community, and that was significant. Plus, we had a whole lot of fun. And our youth, it was so great that they served appetizers and they were able to participate in that, and we found creative ways of not having to spend a lot to grow a lot. So we want to continue those kinds of things. We added and expanded some new teams to our Sacred Service volunteer opportunities, which I'm really excited about. As we saw a change happening toward the end of the year, we created a Sunday service team that supports as the administrative support we need on Sundays to distribute things, to set up things, to be troubleshooters, to be those ears and eyes available to us. And 5 people stepped up, and it's been a really exciting thing to see that happening. We also were able to expand on and formally really have a sound tech team as people are stepping up. Thank you, Steve Owen, standing back there with Amy. Stepped up on their first Sunday of the year when, as Sturdy said, it was the perfect storm, when everybody that normally did anything that knew how to do the technology was sick or something and couldn't be here. And Michelle and I are back there trying to figure out how to put things together, and Steve goes, "I'm an IT guy, can I help?" and you could, and you have, so thank you so much. So we see that evolving. Also, we've been able to expand on our administrative team, and we've had office assistants, but now we're really gelling, where we can have key people with administrative support that can manage some extra projects that can be delegated for Amy to support, and Candace is going to be a really core piece of that, so she'll be kind of a mainstay. Something that came out of our Soulful Soiree was that we have a number of creative people in this community, artists, and Barbara Baumel and Carl Andrews had said, you know what, we think we should be a team, so they designated themselves the Creative Arts Team. So whenever we need to call on special creative, decorative things to enhance our services and whatever's going on, they're going to be the go-to people. But I see this team evolving also to where we can do other things, like maybe having a special dance movement thing in the middle of a service, or readers theater, or other little creative theatrical things. It's like somebody writes a poem and wants to share it. It's like planting the seeds of creativity that enhance our community. That's what that's going to be about. That will enhance the teams like our celebration singers. The vibration of music is an important element of our service because it enhances the message. And so it's been very important for us to collaborate in that there's a mutual feeling of the message integrating in through the music. And I know, and I share that information with Cerny, and so the guest singers also try to choose things that will support that. And our goal is to grow that team so that we can have 2 or 3 singers leading the congregation and inviting that energy up. And so Joey leads that team, and we have had a number of people step up in the last year. So if you love to sing, know that you don't have to actually be the one leader. You can be joining in and growing the energy and not feel like you're having to be a soloist. It's about the joy of music. So we're really grateful for that. We have our platform assistant team that also is very much a part of creating our Sunday morning service experience, and that they work with me very closely in how we can have a streamlined experience of how we present our service, so that it feels like there's a flow in how it integrates together. And so I'm really grateful for those teams and their willingness to serve and their willingness to improve their skills. It's like when we do an evaluation, and it's like we can do some training and take it to another level. Oh my gosh, there's so much you can talk about. We had a gratitude pie Sunday before Thanksgiving. We had so many pies that there were even whole pies left to take home. But it was so exciting to have, to be all of the different variety of pies that we celebrate the Thanksgiving of this ministry before Thanksgiving. We've had an extended leadership training and visioning with our board throughout the year, which has really created uplifting consciousness of the whole. You may not know exactly, but hopefully you felt the energy of the collaboration. We've received, we had special services that we will continue to do on an annual basis. Coming up is our Maundy, Thursday candlelighting and communion service. It's the Thursday before Easter. It's a beautiful sacred experience of understanding the concept of communion from a new thought philosophy. And so please join us if you can at 7 p.m. that evening. We also will continue our Easter flower ceremony. Last year, we were able to transition that from placing flowers on a cross to placing things on a unity wing symbol. And Carl Andrews, in his creativity, made that out of wood so that the flowers went into the symbol of the wings, and it was just beautiful, and we will continue that this year. Along with our World Day of Prayer service, our Christmas Eve candlelighting, our burning bowl, and white stone ceremonies, those are our significant rituals that can enhance your experience that we've done each year. We celebrated Heidi Maloney and her nearly 14 years of service to this community, and though I only had the tail end of it, I know that she made a difference as the office and financial administrator. And so we were able to celebrate her at the end of the year, which signified a transition, a significant transition in our administrative office that hadn't gone through that kind of a shift for all of those years. So it set into motion a new organization plan for our administrative, and that's where we hired a contract bookkeeper that just focuses in on those skills. We reorganized the administrative role, and we shifted things to Mary as the marketing and managing communication manager. So she's in charge of all of the graphic design, all of the communication to the public. She's doing the e-blast, creating the slides for the PowerPoint, social media and the website, and a lot of interactive planning. She also works as a consultant to the Center of Spiritual Living, which is a sister community for ours, in their home office. And she has a pulse with what's going on in the ministry world, so it's been very, very beneficial, and we're blessed to have her. So those are some of the things that as we're upgrading, we're looking at how we can improve, streamline, and enhance the way we're doing the ministry business. And so this year, one of the things that I've done to try to identify some of the new things that we could consider is by attending a monthly prosperity, well, they call it Let's Grow Together, Unity Worldwide Ministries. It's a monthly ministers session that you can attend to learn more about how to empower your ministry, but specifically with prosperity and abundance. From valued resources and program recommendations offered by professionals that they bring in speakers and accomplished ministry consultants, I've identified some of the things that could benefit us implementing in this year. So, as I said, it's going to be a year of analysis. So we're really trying to, I'm going to invite our leadership team, all of them, to be looking at things with new eyes more specifically, taking it to another level. And again, what serves us best, what wants to be released, what needs to be transformed, what we want to include and create new. We're revamping our administrative office and staffing to enhance how we manage the business of ministry. One of the things we're going to be doing in a week is shifting to Google Workspace as the communication tool that will support all of our emails. And we're going to streamline all of our inner staff emails so that we actually have a designated title for each person you communicate. So we're shifting away using personal emails. That way there's a better line of confidentiality, and then you know that anything that comes in that email would be ministry business and it won't get mixed up. So we're going to be shifting into that. It also allows us to add more titles as we need it without an added expense, where Microsoft Office 365, we could only have 10 emails. So in doing that, another technology that we're going to be implementing very soon to enhance our business of ministry is in installing a church management system called Breeze. And it will allow a better organization tool to streamline, automate, and reduce our costs overall. Many Unity ministries are doing that. Our sister communities in this area, Unity of Bellevue and Unity of Seattle, highly recommend it. And what it offers is, which will affect you, is a church membership directory. So rather than doing the old school where you print and gather all that, and then as soon as you do it, it's outdated, we will have a membership directory that as a member, you will be able to log on, create your own profile, and then update your own information. And ultimately, we will integrate it with our QuickBooks so that you can check. We set up the parameters you have access to, only your information, but you can check to see if your donations have been received. If something is missing, you can let us know if you want to change something. It will allow behind-the-scenes staff communication in a better way so that we can share documents, and we won't have to have these long email streams that you lose, like somebody had a question up here and somebody missed it down here, and it will be just much more effective. When we're ready to roll it out, we will be doing a Zoom training session to help you know how you create your profile and what the login process will be. It should be very easy, but it's going to be very exciting. It will set us up to have the foundation to grow and thrive from, so that we don't have to be adjusting things just because we have more people. It's a very effective tool, and it's got so many elements that I can't even go to all of it because I don't know that I fully grasp it yet myself. But Mary Lindsay has been working with it for 5 years, so she will be our support in helping to integrate that in. So having hired Mary too, let's see, what was I saying? Oh, so as part of our website, we see that as an evolving phase as well. That there's the areas that we want to fill in the gap and add to. We want it to be where if anybody is seeking information, it's easy to navigate and that they have information that will inspire them to want to know more. So last year we did an experiment of doing some testimonial videos, and I have to apologize to those that were willing to do that. The background noise interfered with listening and then the formatting was a problem. So we're looking at revamping that to start from scratch and do it a little better. But we want to add those videos to About Us on our website to be able to share them so that people can see real people talking about why they love this church. We also can take written testimonials, like a quote or something, and add, this is what people are saying about us. Those are the kind of things we want to add to our website. Our email is our own communication between us and to share what you need to know. But the website is for the world outside of us to know who we are. And we want to be able to direct them to that confidently. We want to expand our picture gallery. So one of the things that I'm looking for is somebody that has a hobby as a photographer, that loves to take pictures, that would like to be our photographer, that would come to events, take pictures of special things, maybe even some during our services, so that we can post those things and use them in our marketing information on our social media so people can see us having fun, doing relevant things. So let me know if somebody has a hobby as a photographer. Our eyes are about how we can improve our communication and our information access. Because of that, we have realized that there is a gap in how we have connected with our welcoming process and newcomers. So we want to revamp that, and we're looking at new ways of enhancing how we connect and follow up with newcomers. Some of that is already in the works. We added a guest book, but we realized that the follow-up wasn't happening as it was intended. So I have written a welcome letter, and now the administrator will take that information, the people's emails, and automatically send them a letter from me that invites them to contact me if they have any questions and want to know anything about us. We're also looking at, and with Breeze we'll be able to do this, having a QR code that can be sitting right there that people can use their phone and go right into our website and sign up for I want to know more information. And a way to connect with them, because that's the key. How do we connect with people so that we can follow up with them? If they just come in and we welcome them and say, we love you, we're so glad you're here, and then they leave, then what? So those are the things that we're looking at improving. Breeze will also be able to help us with that because some of the things we can set up as automatic response to people based on certain types of communication and inquiries. We want to continue to grow our sacred service ministry teams and support our members in a way to make a difference within our community. So as I mentioned, we've had some new teams, but there's also some teams that have been waiting in the wings for somebody to step up and activate. We will only be enhanced by having a fully active event team and a community outreach team, rather than focusing on individual events and activities themselves, but having a team that has a calendar of events and activities that they look at and how we prepare moving forward so that we don't miss opportunities. But then we will have a time frame where say now it's time to introduce it to the community and invite others to help participate. So if we have 2 or 3 people on each of those teams, well, we will be better prepared and ready to serve those activities within our ministry. And there's a couple of other things that have come up. And so it's like as we're ready, we want to step into. So 2 other things that I wanted to bring up is ways that we can create a format to invite members to share and provide your input. because it is welcome and it helps to, stir the pot sometimes. We can't always do everything, but it certainly helps to have an idea that we can discern. So what I'm planning to do is to have quarterly sharing sessions where I will just say, if you have things you want to share, we might have topics, like every quarter, so we can focus in more specifically as we're analyzing things. We'll just pull up a mic, we'll have a flip chart, and we'll say, okay, what are your questions? What are the things that you want to share? What are some of the things that are important to you? So that we can gather that, and then what's relevant we can take back to the board. Or if it's something that I can work with our staff and implement right away, we will. But I want you to know that those thoughts are in motion. Along with a couple of times a year, Michael and I had a really fun time doing Ask the Minister last November. So I think we'll do that a couple of times a year as a Sunday service, and maybe focus in on general topics or universal like prosperity and prayer, so we can narrow in on a specific theme for when we do that. But I just want you to know that I'm probably going to be doing one in April. But those kind of things are in the thought process of how we can connect with you and share with you. Maybe there'll be a forum that we can have on our website that would be a way of sharing things like that. So considering new ways to participate effectively in our community outreach as well, there may be things that we can become more visible. And I think the ones that are closer to home, where we can shine a light on who we are and where we are, could be the most effective. Making a difference is great, but we also want to be able to connect and bring back people to be a part of what we're doing as we evolve and grow. Your leadership team and myself see a plan of continuing to establish a solid foundation for growing as the face of ministry evolves. We're seeing the results of seeds planted in the past, and we feel confident that the intentions, plans, and programs and activities are being put into motion will now result in even greater demonstrations by this time next year. As we move beyond the impact of the pandemic years, we're able to see how we can really roll up our sleeves and get more involved again. But I also want to let you know, because I also suffer some